Well, sorry, I'm gonna ask you again. Let me know when you can see it, and you can see the thing changing. So it should be in the page that says introduction. I'm gonna go back to chapter outline. Can you see chapter outline? Then I'm gonna move to introduction. Yeah, it works. Sorry about that. It's not letting me do it. Like, there we go. Okay. So, TRICARE is a healthcare program. Again, just like every other thing that has to do with the government. It's not a plan. It's not a health insurance plan. It's a program from the government, or part of the government, the federal government, the one that has to do uh, with the three branches of the military. So, uniformed service members and their families. So when we say who gets Medicare, we say 65 years or older, gestational disease or disabled. When we ask who gets Medicaid, we said low-income individuals. And now when I'm asked who gets TRICARE, it has to be military, active military, and their families. National Guard, Reserve, and their families can get it too. Survivors of people from the military, and former spouses. So if someone gets divorced, will also get it. And a few others, Medal of Honor recipients, and some other individuals are going to be part of the to the Department of Defense Enrollment Eligibility Reporting System. So again, now the other question is who pays for it? So it's paid by the federal government, not state, not federal government. So TRICARE was created to expand healthcare access and ensure quality of care, to control health costs, and to have everyone in the military as healthy as possible. Okay. A little bit of the history. So we talk about Medicare around the 60s, Medicaid a little bit later, and private insurances almost 100 years ago. So it kind of started mimicking the insurance plans to just have something for the armed forces. So it was called Civilian Health and Medical Program for uniformed services, and it was again active duty members and their families to get to get medical benefits. So it was a military health system managed by the defense health agencies, including military treatment, military facilities, and it moved to non-military facilities. You'll see how that one works. So it was CHAMP US for the uniformed services, kind of an acronym for the United States also. So it was a demonstration project and it worked, and then it changed or developed into TRICARE nationwide for everyone. That first part, the CHAMP, we kept Civilian Health and Medical Program for the VA, and had the same acronym, CHAMP VA. We'll see it in a little bit. So, TRICARE paid by the federal government, and is for active duty military personnel and their families. So if you retire from the military, you're gonna be also included into that the people that are going to get it, their families around the world. I will provide comprehensive coverage for all beneficiaries. So comprehensive coverage is not only basic coverage like in most of the other plans. It includes health plans, special programs, prescriptions, and dental plans. Again, if you see most of the things that we said before, it said basic medical in inpatient and outpatient. Now it's comprehensive coverage, special programs, prescriptions, and dental. And it will coordinate dental, medical, and pharmacy options. Partners with civilian regional contractors to administer the benefits. So what we're saying is that they are going to be partnered with um, insurance companies. Okay, so we have insurance companies that are going like private plans that are going to manage the contract. So that means a TRICARE will be through private insurance. So the regions, that's the main division for the regions, east and west, and then anything that is overseas. While you are overseas, the coverage is in military hospitals, unless it's a case of an emergency. In the states is any basically any place that you choose to. So eligibility, simple. In order to be eligible for TRICARE, you have to be a TRICARE beneficiary, so you have to be active military personnel. You have to be a family member of someone that is active military or retired,
¿De
or the
cuántos son?
survivors for individuals that
No, no vale la pena.
that had TRICARE at the time that they died, if they died in combat. They have a common access card, so it's a card that has for the military, and that
Búscalo en el mapa, Nito. Busca
it's
esta mapa.
the way that we identify the individuals through the Department of Defense, and that same card is going to have the information for the individual TRICARE information. So this is how it looks. It's gonna have a picture. It's like an identification or card, and it will tell you what branch of the military. So in this case, it says Air Force, and then so that means that this individual is part of that. So if you go to a point of service or a scanner like this with a computer, it will tell you what the individual is, what are the benefits, what are the things that they need. Also, you can use the numbers in order to identify the individual. So again, it's used all over the US, and it works really, really simple. So one of the things that we have is the transitional healthcare options. Transitional assisted management programs provides 180 days to have a year of premium-free transitional healthcare benefits when the TRICARE benefits end. We have temporary programs that are similar to the COBRA programs when an employee resigns from a military job, from non-military jobs, so it's kind of the same thing. And continuing health care benefit programs, premium-based healthcare programs administered by Humana Military. So if you've been listening to the class, you heard that we have Humana prescription, Humana Medicare, Humana private, Humana group, Humana military. So Humana dabbles in all of the lines of business for healthcare. So they do all of the ones, and so Humana Military is one of the most famous ones. So as the administration of TRICARE, remember the administration of Medicare is done by the federal government. The administration of Medicaid is done by the states. So the administration of TRICARE is done by the Department of Defense Health Agency. So it's an agency that is under the direction of the Assistant Secretary of Defense of Health Affairs. It manages the whole program. It's accountable for the quality of care provided to the beneficiaries, and it's the arbitrator for denied claims. This is interesting. What happens when you deny a claim? You get a claim denied by Medicare. You send it to the MAC, to the military contractors, and then you send it to the court, and then you send it to whatever. So here, the Defense Health Agencies, our agency is going to be the one that's going to decide the claims that's supposed to be paid or not. So usually, all the claims are good, and if you do it correctly, they're going to get paid. In some cases, they won't, and if they won't, then you have to go back to them for them to tell you if it's going to get paid or not. That is kind of, let's say, unfair, because the same individual that is going to pay is the one that is going to decide if they're going to get paid or not. So the same people that deny it are going to tell you if they're going to get paid. So he's the only one of those, all of the ones that we said before, that doesn't have an independent arbitrator for the claim. So I think that's kind of interesting. Service centers or regions, we call the regions, they're going to have information on what the beneficiaries are going to get in any type of assistance. So the agency or the regions are going to have offices that are going to have both the customer service representatives and healthcare finders. You are not going to see this with any other program, because again, this is federal, and it's through the whole states. So they're going to figure out what facilities, what things, what referrals they need to get the individual to military facility or civilian provider network. The military health system is a little bit different from the other things that we have, but it has nurse advice line 24/7. And again, if you're traveling in the United States or going with a established military hospital or clinic, you can call them to get advice. So it is a super centralized business staffed by the military, run by the military, and anything will be military based. So it becomes a different kind of system. So in order to do that, then they will refer the patients to a military treatment facility. So military hospitals or clinics that are going to be on a military basis or close around all the way around the world. They will provide the inpatient or outpatient emergency department for eligible TRICARE beneficiaries. They will have capabilities from acute clinic to teaching or tertiary care medical centers. And counseling assistants, coordinators are going to be the ones that are going to answer the questions to help solve healthcare related problems, check where they're going to go, and navigate through obtaining the medical care. And there's a debt collection assistant officer that assists beneficiaries in resolving healthcare collection related issues. So you might think that because it's the military or because it's the government, there's no issues about it. They will be, just like any other individual. So now it becomes a problem. One of the ways that we can fix those problems is by using case management. So case management is used in TRICARE a lot more than in any other type of program, because we need to make sure that the benefits of the things that the patient needs are there. So a case manager will be assigned to kind of complicated situations or cases, and they will just coordinate the services. They will coordinate and monitor the beneficiaries' health care options and services. So they will access the available resources. They will promote quality and cost-effective outcomes. Critical pathway is a sequence of activities that we cannot expect them to happen all the time, so we want to figure out how to do it in the most cost-effective way. They're going to follow the practice guidelines, and this is how the medical decision making is used in order to get the appropriate care. They already are applying discharge as soon as the patient gets to the acute care facility to another one or change. And case management usually is going to be nurses, social workers, and case managers that are part of the military and usually are just there to support all the systems. So again, it's a paid by, for, and run by the military for the military personnel. Now we have like any other part, people trying to uh, take advantage. When you take advantage of something, when you're lying about it, it's fraud. When you're just taking advantage, is abuse. So there's a program integrity office that is going to be a central agency that is going to work for the Defense Health Agency of the Department of Defense, and it will monitor and check allegations of fraud and abuse. The way that they're going to do it is a little bit different than anything else. They will develop some policy and procedure for the prevention, detection, and investigation of cyber fraud, waste, and program of abuse. So the way that they have to do it, because everyone is in the military, they are going to check for the contractor programs activities, and they will be the same ones that are going to investigate. So the way they are going to investigate is they have the Department of Defense and external investigation agencies, like the Office of the Inspector General, part of the judicial system, and they have the ability to initiate administrative remedies. In other words, they can start the prosecution of individuals that do commit fraud and abuse through the striker. So what they're saying is that they are the ones that can get you in trouble and also prosecute you. So it's kind of a weird one. This program has a lot of autonomy, and it has a lot of of power to protect their beneficiaries and the money that is being spent on them. So remember these few words that we said before: the Civilians Health Medical Program. So the CHAMP, okay, and then we are gonna add VA to it. So it's going to be the Civilian Health and Medical Program of the Department of Veteran Affairs, so CHAMP, VA. It's going to be administered by, or run by, the VA, so Veterans Health Administration Office, and it will process applications, determine eligibility, authorize the benefits, and process the claims. So now I know there are a program that has all the autonomy to process all the applications, determine eligibility, authorize benefits, and process claims. Okay, so just like before, it's a really powerful program that, in this case, just is for veterans. So veterans, not active military, so veterans. So let's talk about who gets it. So who's gonna pay for it? The Veterans Affairs. So again, the government. You are, or the individual has to be permanently and totally disabled as a result of service-connected condition or injury. So someone that was injured as they were active military because of the service that they were performing. So if you are active military and you break a leg playing basketball, then you're not, you do not you cannot apply for VA benefits. Okay, so it becomes a problem when people think that just because you were military and you get injured, then you're gonna get VA. So it's not. Jam VA is for, again, disabled as a result of service-connected condition or injury. The individual dies as a result of service-connected injury, then their family members are eligible for VA. Was rated permanently or totally disabled as a result of service-connected condition injury at the time of death. So you were a VA, then died, and then your VA benefits for the individuals died on active duty and whose dependents are not otherwise entitled to TRICARE. So again, someone died and the dependents do not have TRICARE, then the dependents can get CHAM VA benefits. Okay, sorry about that. Has service-connected disability. One that Veterans Affairs has concluded was caused or worsened by Veterans of active duty service, a permanent disability that was not expected to improve. So now you have something that happened to you and it made it worse because you were active duty, and then you qualify even though it was not the result of combat, for example. So it's a little bit specific in who gets in and how it works, but the thing that matters here is what is this? Okay, there you go. So it was a way to again to fulfill President Lincoln's promise to take care for him who shall have borne battle and for his freedom. So and his orphan. So the same people that are military that become ill, injured, or died, then we should take care of them. And again, veterans program is for them. So it provides enrolled veterans with healthcare access with their own community, within their own community, allowing them to receive care from eligible non-VA healthcare entities and providers. So this is interesting. If you are not a VA hospital or a VA provider, then you can see these variants. It's a little bit less than an active, or actually a lot less than active. Active is 100% payable and no premiums and no deductibles, no co-payments. This one has deductible, has co-payments, and it has co-insurance. You still have to pay out of pocket for many things, but again, it's a little bit on the way of helping them. So separate from the VA existing program providing care to veterans outside the VA system. So again, you don't have to be completely injured. They will give you a chance to, if you're retired, to actually do it or get services and benefits. TRICARE, we have a few examples or types of coverage. We have TRICARE Prime, we have TRICARE Select, and then we have TRICARE for Life. They all started as demonstration projects, and they clinical trials and work. So they are to supplement coverage by civilian healthcare providers. So what they're saying is, these are examples of things that the more you pay, the better the care. So if you take the normal TRICARE, then it will cover some basic things. If you take Prime, it will be a little bit better, and it will cover more things. So TRICARE Prime is a managed care, and as soon as you see managed care, you are gonna know that that's gonna be a private insurance like Humana, okay? And it will be like Humana military, and it will have a group of network provider who's gonna be assigned to provide the care, because it's gonna be the first or the primary So it's called primary care manager. So it is a provider, a doctor that is going to take care of everything. So just like any other HMO, because we said managed care, there are not be HMOs for this, but more than HMOs, just for one remember. So HMOs, private insurance, are gonna take over the benefits and is going to make sure that the services are given. So um, the beneficiaries receive care if they reside and work outside a military treatment facility. And the interesting thing is that they have a specific range, 40 miles of the military hospital. So again, it's saying that if you live more than that, then you're still going to be able to receive treatment from the military hospital or any in-network provider. It has a catastrophic cap benefit. So cap is the how much it can go. It protects beneficiaries from devastating financial loss due to serious illness, long-term treatment, and sometimes the limits with payments are is not required. So every single thing that we said from before, it does not have a cap. I mean, it has a cap, but it's usually it's called out of pocket. Um, so in the sake of military, they were the ones that came up with. So those caps, the out of pocket maximums that we talk about in other plans, it comes from the catastrophic cap benefit from TRICARE and TRICARE Prime. Yeah, TRICARE Select. So now instead of being kind of a HMO, it's gonna be PPO, so it's a preferred provider organization. My bad. So it's a PP. In this case, it's N. So PPO or preferred provider organization or preferred provider network plan. It's a self-managed, so it replaced like TRICARE Standard and TRICARE Extra. So it was before Prime, Standard, and Extra. Now you have TRICARE Prime and Select. Beneficiaries are going to schedule an appointment with any TRICARE authorized provider. So it's super interesting that this only TRICARE providers, not non or out of network. Pre-authorization is going to be required for some services, not as much as if we're talking about an HMO, but still more than the Prime. Beneficiary costs include enrollment fees, annual outpatient deductible, cost share, and cover services. Not like the Prime, that all those things are included. But again, if you remember my explanation on how health insurances work, you remember that it doesn't matter what you choose. The more you choose, the more you pay. The less you pay, the more things, the least things you get. So if you use TRICARE Select, then okay, more deductible, more cost share, or insurance or co-insurance for our cover services. So it is a lesser version of the Prime. So these are the another of the plans, and again, all of these ones are gonna have again, it could be part of the health plans or separate or for the supplemental. TRICARE for Life retirees are gonna get TRICARE for Life. They could also get to a point that they get on Medicare, and then you're gonna have both. TRICARE Reserve Select, retired reserve, young adult U.S. Family Health Plan, TRICARE Dental, and TRICARE Vision at the end. So you know, all the plans will have it. The more things you have, the more you have to pay. And remember, it comes from your salary, so it's a little bit easy to put in. I like this question, TRICARE Prime and TRICARE Select. So TRICARE Prime, sorry. So like I was saying, TRICARE Prime is a managed care, so it looks like an HMO, okay? And Triker Select is a little bit different. It's self-managed, and it's kind of like a PPO. Okay. Billing notes. Triker contractors grouped in large regional districts. The claim that you're going to use for professional is the CMS 1500 form. Why did I do this? The CMS 1500 form for claims for professional or medical, and the UBO for institutional. There's two other forms, 2527, personal injury questionnaire submitted if it's an accident, and 2642, patient request for medical payment if the patient has other health insurance, then it requires the remitting advice to be attached to the claim. So yes, you're gonna use those two, but there's other the CMS 1500 and UBO form. But for the CMS 1500 form, if it says accident, then you also need to include this one. And if you're using Triker as and Triker has a secondary or supplemental insurance, then you need to use this 2642. I've never seen this forms or those questions about those forms in the exams. So I'm not saying that you don't need them, but just it's super important for you to memorize them. Claim submission deadline, like anything that has to do with the government, Medicare, Medicaid, and now Triker, you have 1 year from the date of service for outpatient and 1 year from the date of discharge for inpatients. There is an allowable fee, and we already know what an allowable fee is. Why is this mode? We have an allowable fee, and it's going to be determined by the regional payers. So it's going to be not like a Medicare allowable, now it's going to be a Triker allowable, because it's going to be done by regional payers or what we call private insurance companies, and they will have their own fees, okay, or payment fees. Deductibles apply to government fiscal year, which runs from October 1st, 1 year to September 30th of the next. So it's a 1 year deductible, just like everything else. This one just runs from October to September 30th, October 1st to September 30th. Now, confirmation of eligibility. This is something that you have to check all the time, and you do it, right? So, confirmation of eligibility is obtained by the numbers for their identifications. Triker accepts, the provider has to accept assignments for a non-participating provider and determine claim by claim. So, if you are a non-participating provider, then they will pay if they feel like it or not. This is basically what it says there. Triker limiting charges for non-participating provider, they are going to have the same as we said before. It's a 15% above Triker fee schedule for participating provider. So again, it's you end up losing around 15, and then 20%, so like around 35% less. Balance billing, patients cannot be billed for the difference between the provider's normal fee and the Triker limiting charge, just like Medicare and Medicaid. If there's a balance after everything is all said and done, you cannot bill the patient. You cannot bill the patient. And I say that again, you cannot bill Medicare or Medicaid or Triker patients for balances. Okay? The only one that you can bill is for Medicaid and Medicare patients if they sign the advance beneficiary notice of no payment. Special handling, make a copy of the front and back of the patient's identification of the military, and everything in the military form has to be military time. They might ask you in the exam how to convert military time. I've seen it for 8 years straight. One question out of 150. It is what to change or to put a time in military time. So just now, I runs in a 24-hour interval, starting at 0, going all the way to 24. So in this case, it's 1 p.m. 1300 hours. Please remember that. There's gonna be a question about that. Please understand it, or at least try to understand it so you get it right. Simple question that you can get right just by knowing military time.
Can you go over that question again that you said that maybe on the test?
Which one? The time?
Yes.
There's gonna be a question that will say something like this. Please put this time, this hour in military time. Say 1 p.m., 1:30 p.m., whatever it is, and it will tell you to select from a list what is the correct way of writing it in military time. So 2 o'clock. So 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. Okay, so how would you write it down? 2 a.m. 2:00. 2 p.m. 14:00. But there's always one question about military time. Always one question. Been doing it for 10 years. I mean, I know at least 8 years they've been doing it.
So the AM is 0200 and the PM is the 1400.
Yep. What time is right now? 7:08 p.m. I'll be that in military time.
So right now it's 8 p.m. How did you write the 8 p.m.?
No, it's 7 with 8 minutes. Okay, did I right? Can you see that? 7, 8. There you go. See, people in the chat. 19. Okay, perfect. So 7 is 7 after 12, so 19.
So you basically have to write in military time.
Military time, that's it. And you don't put like the semicolons or anything, so I guess only the 4 numbers. It's 100% sure that there's a question about that in your exam. It's been there all the time. And yeah, it's just a simple question that it's just, and it's not gonna be like 7 and 13, 7, 8, 7, 9. It's just gonna be like 7, 4, 3, like whatever. Simple time. Wait, after that, who else is here that I haven't put in my list? Oh, no, it's not 13. 12. Here, Striker Chem instructions. They are going to be through the CMS 1500 form, and they're going to be submitted to the selected contractors. Or, basically saying you're going to use the CMS 1500 form, and you're going to send it to the insurance company. Okay? Why does not look good? There's something with this here as well. you're gonna send it to the insurance company. Remember, TRICARE, like Medicare, like Medicaid, is a program, and the insurance company is the one that's gonna do that. But there's always a private insurance company that's gonna take over. The only one that doesn't do that is Medicare, but if it is said Medicare, then you are going to send it to the Medicare to the contractors or max. Okay? How did I put a C in next? C as max. Okay? Because it's TRICARE, you're gonna send it to the TRICARE selected contractors, and they're gonna be private insurances. Example, Humana Military. And claims are going to be submitted to. This is a perfect question on your exam. Look at this. And we just saw it. It says selected contractors, right? Here it says CMS 1500 claims are submitted to, and it should say the TRICARE claims done in a CMS 1500 form are submitted to, and TRICARE prime contractors. It's some craziness that they just put there. And that's just a distractor. That doesn't exist. We don't have a TRICARE prime contractor. So you have to, that question is a simple question to see if you know the definition. If you know that TRICARE select contractor is what you have, and the prime contractor is something that does not exist. Little tricks like that are hopefully I'll be able to show you many of them, so you don't get them wrong in your exam.
So the answer is TRICARE, select the P.
Yes. TRICARE select contractors. But we just said it like 2 seconds ago. Look, but this is again. I could do 2 more. For example, I could do this. This is how the exam goes. The exam is gonna be just like this, right? It's gonna say that, and then it's gonna say C, it's gonna say E, okay? And it will say TRICARE. TRICARE, okay, and it will say what's the other one? Prime select. The other ones where we don't use them anymore. Jesus Christ, I forgot their names now. Forget it. Just put I don't know, plus contractors. Max, I don't know, whatever. You know, have something that don't go there. So this is a perfect example of a question. You say prime contractor, that's not it. Plus contractors, that's not it. Max contractors, that's not it. You need to know what it is. Now you can do it that way, or you can just know that they are select contractors, and that's it. You answer that question. But there's always distractors or things like one little word that's gonna change the definition. Yes, are we understanding this? Are we getting this?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, chat, let's see the chat. Yes. Okay, thank you. Continue. Yeah. Now, you can imagine that TRICARE being the awesome plan that it is, or awesome program that it is for our military, it's going to be what? Primary or secondary? Most of the time, primary, right? So, in some instances, TRICARE could be secondary, and that's weird, right? Just like Medicare being secondary is kind of weird. So there's some examples. What are the examples? So first of all, there's some modification that has to be made to the CMS 1500 form plain instructions when the CMS 1500 form, when we're using a CMS 1500 form to use TRICARE as a secondary payer. Okay? secondary payer. For TRICARE as a secondary payer claim, the patient primary health insurance coverage is another payer. Okay, and there's a few examples. Example number one is Medicare or an employer group health plan. And you might ask, wait, how could that be? So how could someone have, but let's do Medicare first. Let me open the chart. How can someone have TRICARE and Medicare at the same time? I want anyone to solve that puzzle. Medicare and TRICARE at the same time. Anyone wants to try it? Anyone has an idea? If not, let's change it. How could anyone have TRICARE as one plan and then have an employer group plan also?
So would TRICARE be a secondary?
How can someone have two insurances? One TRICARE and the other one an employer group health plan. What will have to happen for that to happen? Someone with a disability.
Maybe they're over the age of 65 or 65 or older.
Say that again. Oh, I have to phone. Michelle, you said someone?
Oh, I was gonna say maybe it's someone that's 65 years and older with a disability.
But remember, disabilities are gonna give you CHAMP VA. So it won't be TRICARE. That's the same that someone put in the chat. Martha said someone with a disability because of service. That will get CHAMP VA. So you will get VA. It has to be TRICARE, and it has to be something else. Well, let me help you out. The trick is that it's not only the individual active military who gets TRICARE, also their family members. Okay, so now you have someone that is active military, has TRICARE, and his or her spouse gets TRICARE because of that, but they also work and they're not military. So someone that is working and has their plan from work and also has TRICARE because of their spouse. Or a kid that has both TRICARE from a parent that is active military and an employer group health plan from someone from the other parent that is not military. So in that case, what happens? Okay, who is primary and who is secondary? So almost always, when it's an employer plan, it's primary to a governmental plan. So if you have an employer plan first, then that's primary, and then TRICARE will be secondary. If you have an employer plan and you have Medicare, the employer plan is first, and then the Medicare is secondary. And if you have anything else, then like an accident or anything, a car accident or something like that, then at that point, all of them are going to be secondary to the liability claim. So, it's not often, but again, someone has Medicare. Okay, it could be someone that was disabled, someone that has end-stage renal disease, for example. It doesn't have to be an elderly individual. And their spouse is in the military, so they have TRICARE and Medicare. So Medicare, both of them are going to be from the government. Then Medicare will be primary, and then TRICARE will be secondary. Okay.
But they must be in the military, you said, right? To have like
some of the players, one of the players has to be active military for them to have TRICARE. So TRICARE, again, some individuals might have again, spouse, a child. Some benefits could be to their parents. So one of the individuals have to be active military to get TRICARE, and then the other individual either has Medicare for whatever reason or it's working and has an employer group health plan. And that employer group health plan or Medicare will be secondary, it will be primary to TRICARE in that example, and TRICARE will be secondary.
Okay.
That's not a common thing. Okay, that's not a common occurrence. A TRICARE is a secondary CMS meeting on the plan. The primary is will be the other primary. So if you have TRICARE as a primary, then Blue Cross Blue Shield will be the other. Blue Cross Blue Shield will be the primary, and then TRICARE will be secondary. This Blue Cross Blue Shield is from let's say that the guy is the one who's in the military, so the man is in the military, active military, female has Blue Cross Blue Shield from her work, so if something happens to her, Blue Cross Blue Shield will be primary, TRICARE from her spouse will be secondary. Now, because TRICARE, like anything else, has some other things that you might need to pay or whatever, we could get supplemental plans, just like in the examples for Medicare. You can get supplemental care or coverage for TRICARE. Again, extra things, dental, vision, whatever, is not, even though all of things are included, but there's some things that cannot be included. So what we'll say is the primary payer is TRICARE, and anything that supplements TRICARE will be secondary. In that case, we just submit one claim. It's a little bit just like the Medi claims. You submit one for Medicare and Medicaid. Now, when it's anything different, then you have to submit the claim first, and then send the remittance advice for it. So it's a little bit, again, not super common. So most of the times you are not going to see that. Usually the patient that has TRICARE is sufficient for them. So again, how many claims are you going to send? One, even if you have TRICARE and a supplemental one. What was created? What are the parties? That's it. Jesus Christ, it's super early. Okay. A few questions from here. And I want to hear someone answer or someone put in the chat. Who gets TRICARE in as little words as you can say it? Let's see. Who gets TRICARE?
Military.
Where are you? Come on.
Military.
Chat, go crazy.
Military.
I like it, military. Let's add one more word to it. Active military. Okay?
Active military.
Who gets CHAM-VA?
Disability.
When? What type of disability? There's not only a disability.
Resulting from something in the military?
Resulting from something in the during service. There you go. That's it. So VA, veterans, or individuals that got disabled through the military service. Now, there's a thing. A veteran is someone that was in the military. Okay. A retired veteran is something different. If you retire from 20, 30 years in the military, that is different than if you go for 4 years and you retire. Okay, both of them are gonna be veterans. Both of them are gonna have some type of benefits. But of course, the guy that spent, or the guy or girl that spent 20, 30 years in the military are gonna have different benefits. And usually, the one that retires after many years, they're gonna get the TRICARE for life. And then if you are disabled, then they're gonna get CHAM-VA.
So is it only for veterans only? The champ?
Yes, CHAMP VA. VA stands for Veterans Affairs. So it's for veterans that are disabled during active military, and now they're not active because they're disabled. Okay. Your active TRICARE, active military TRICARE, disabled military personnel, CHAMP VA. If you're not active because you're retired, then you get TRICARE for life. It's a different one. Who pays for TRICARE?
The government, no?
What part of the government? Federal government under the Department of Defense. So TRICARE stands for the three branches of the military: Army, Navy, and Air Force. So who pays for TRICARE in the Navy? Well, the Navy. Department of Defense, branch, Navy, federal government. Who runs TRICARE? Who does the administration of TRICARE? Well, again, the federal government. Who runs CHAMP VA? The VA. Who pays for the VA? Well, the VA. And the VA is part of the Department of Defense, part of the federal government. Quick question. What other program is paid by the federal government?
Medicaid?
Medicaid, yes. What other one? Come on, people, this is fast. There you go. Medicaid and Medicare. Who pays for Medicaid? Federal government and the state. Who administers Medicare?
Did you have two questions or one question? Who administers Medicare?
Yes. Who runs Medicare? Yes, I love what Martha put there. CMS. But who's that? Who's CMS?
Center Medicare Services.
So Medicare is run by CMS. That is federal government. Medicaid. Who runs Medicaid?
The state.
States. But it's paid by both.
Yes.
Okay? Okay. You see, exactly. State. So let's recap again. Medicaid aid paid by the federal government jointly with the states, run by states. It is for low-income individuals. Includes inpatient and outpatient, and you cannot bill patients. Medicare, run by the federal government, paid by the federal government, for patients that are 65 years or older with Social Security benefits that had paid Medicare for at least 10 years, or individuals that have end-stage renal disease or are on dialysis, or individuals that are disabled before 18. It has 4 parts: A, B, C, and D. You do not have to have all of them. If you have A, that is the only one that you want to have, good for you. You could apply for B. It might require some premiums or some other payments. C, you don't have to have it. It's a managed care, so it means that it's a HMO or Medicare Advantage plan. It would mean that insurance plan, a private insurance plan, is going to manage your benefits for Medicare. And Part D is for prescriptions. We have TRICARE, that is for the 3 different branches of the military: Army, Navy, and Air Force. It is to program for active military personnel and their families. There's a few examples of it. It's Triker Prime and Triker Select. Triker Prime acts like an HMO, it's a managed care. Triker Select is like a PPO, so it's a little bit more, so a little bit more flexibility, so you can go to any doctor. It doesn't have to be a military doctor. You have to pay a little bit more for that. If you are disabled, you're gonna have CHAMP BA. CHAMP BA is for disabled military personnel, and they were disabled because of active duty. You have a car accident while you are not at work and you are an active military personnel and you get disabled, you are not going to get CHAMP BA benefits. So CHAMP BA is paid by the Veterans Affairs, and that's part of the federal government, and it's, again, it's national, just like Triker and Medicare. It's a national program. Yes or no? CHAMP, Triker can be primary. It's almost always primary, just like Medicare, almost always primary. They are only not primary to an employer-sponsored plan. So an employer pays a plan, and the patient has Triker, then or Medicare, then Triker or Medicare will be secondary to the employer plan. Government will always be secondary to a private one. So if you have employer-sponsored plan and Medicare will be secondary. If you have a private employer-sponsored plan and Triker, it's gonna be secondary. The other thing that you might think, like, and this is how at the beginning I asked, what is an example? If you are active military personnel, if you're active military, that's your job. You cannot have another job or another full-time job for you to have two insurances. But your spouse, your children can have it. Can have one from mom, one from dad. One is active military, the other one is a civilian employee by someone that gives them the insurance. Then that kid could have two insurances. Biker will be always secondary to the employer-sponsored plan. Who pays the employer-sponsored plan? The employer, or pays a little bit, pays the whole thing, or just offers the plan. They don't have to pay. A private insurance paid by the private individual. A commercial insurance paid by the individual. A group insurance, it could be offered to a group of people, paid by the people. What else? Are you understanding this? Are you understanding the differences between the insurances? The questions on your exam are going to be simple. When they talk about insurances, they want to know like 3 or 4 things. Who pays for it? Who runs it? Who gets it? And what do they offer? Those are kind of the most broad, important things that you need to know about every single insurance. We're just missing one more, that is workers' compensation. And again, that one is paid specifically by state and the employer, and is for individuals that get sick or injured while performing their work. So that's the next one, and that's gonna be for tomorrow actually. Any questions? Any questions? My good for me. So yeah, that's it. That's it that we have for today. Workers' compensation is tomorrow. We're doing excellent in time. We're doing extremely good. Workers' compensation. Yeah, workers' compensation is kind of long also. It's a little bit different, but guys, any questions on what we said today about TriCare? I think it's really simple. It's just military. That's about it. There's not a lot of mystery with it. The only things that includes Champier, I need to remember that Champier is just